It's 6:32 and we'll call the regular school board meeting of ISD 717 to order at 6:32 p.m. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please. Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Here. Here.
Thank you. Consideration of the agenda. There's no changes to the agenda, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as published.
Motion to approve.
Corinne?
Second.
Lauren, seconds.
I didn't know
Corinne
if you were going to.
moves. All those in favor of approving the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Okay, so we have an exciting night. We have several people that we're going to be honoring tonight for very, very, very good reasons. Very proud of our district and all the exciting things going on, and welcome to all the guests that are here with us tonight. But first of all, I'm going to start with one award that I will address from up here. And I am going to ask the board to come up and help me present this award. Here, Vice President, I'll give you this. Okay. So this is a surprise. Superintendent Evenson is not aware that we are doing this, but Superintendent Evenson belongs to an association called MASA, which is the Minnesota Association of Minnesota Association of School Administrators. And they annually give one award for each district in the state of Minnesota. And the winner of the Superintendent Award for District 9, which is our district, is our own Renee K. Stevenson, our superintendent. So we're very proud of you. So I'll read a little bit about the award. The Minnesota Association of School Administrators has announced the recipients for the 2025 Regional Administrator of Excellence Award. Each of the administrators who receive the award is recognized for their leadership, concern for students, and active involvement in professional and community affairs. The recipients will be honored at a statewide recognition ceremony at the end of this week. This was established in 1985, and the purpose of it is to honor an administrator each year from each of the 9 MASA regions. The person selected is representative of the leadership excellence found in MASA members. They exhibit a willingness to risk, possess strong communication skills, they are a progressive change agent, and have high expectations for themselves and others. Each recipient is an active member of MASA. Our superintendent serves on their leadership executive board, who demonstrates professional and organizational leadership within their respective region. MASA members of each region determine the recipient of their local award. So this is a great honor, and as a district, we are incredibly, incredibly honored that you are getting this honor. So Molly, do you want to read this?
Jordan Pride Award is hereby presented to Renee K. Stevenson, whose endeavor for excellence has shown character, determination, and hard work that represents the values of our school and community. This is a small token of gratitude to say congratulations and thank you for being a role model to others.
Thank you. Good. And we're going to invite you to come up here. We'll play. So on behalf of the board, congratulations. So, yes.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. I'm going to start with, how did you find out?
Oh, we have some.
Well, thank you.
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
And just as a side note, next we'll be honoring Dale Carey and our wrestlers that are here. And after that, we're going to take a 5-minute little break and have treats, cupcakes.
Oh my
and
gosh.
stuff.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
And we'll get pictures after.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
congratulations. Okay, thank you. Next, I will have John come up and present Dale.
All right. Well, good evening, board. As Deb mentioned, we've got quite a crowd gathered here for Jordan Pride Awards, largely. We're going to start by honoring Dale Carroll. Dale is a ninth grader at Jordan High School, and she's a member of our adapted floor hockey co-op that we share with New Prague, who hosts it, and then Belle Plaine and TCU. And their team qualified for and ultimately won the adapted floor hockey state tournament earlier this month. So to tell us a little bit more about that program, I'm going to invite their head coach, who was kind enough to attend this evening, Jeremy Kalal, to come and just share a few words with us about what all they do within this program. It's really a great deal that we're fortunate to be a part of. So I'll hear a little bit from Jeremy, and Dale is going to accompany him, and we'll get a chance to recognize her after that.
Well, thanks for having us. My name is Jeremy Call. Like I said, this is my second year being the head coach for our adapted sports program in New Prague. I've been involved with the floor hockey team for 14 or 15 years, a long time now. But Dale is our one representative from Jordan. We have 15 students from New Prague, 3 from Belle Plaine and 3 from TCU, and then Dale from Jordan here. So as John said, we ended up the season 11-0 on the season, which was awesome. Dale played in, I think, all but maybe 3 of the varsity games this year. So she was a varsity competitor for us and did awesome out there. It's been a blast to have Daryl on our team with us. We're hoping that she brings some friends from Jordan along here in the next few years as well to help us grow our team. But it has been an absolute blast with these kids, and they played their hearts out at the state tournament, beating Stillwater 11-9 for the state championship. Came from behind in both the semifinal game and the finals to actually win the championship. So they've come in second place the last 2 seasons, so a little redemption this year. But now Dale has a gold medal to wear on her neck for the state tournament. So,
Excellent.
but thank you guys very much for having us and honoring Dale here.
So Dale, on behalf of the Jordan School District and the Jordan Board, we want to present you with this Pride Award, which says Jordan Pride Award is hereby presented to Dale Carroll, 2025 MSHSL Floor Hockey State Tournament first place team participant, whose endeavor for excellence has shown character, determination, and hard work that represent the values of our schools and our community. This is a small token of gratitude to say congratulations and thank you for being a great role model to others. So congratulations.
All right. Before I get to our next group of individuals, I'll just clarify for all of the folks here for Jordan Pride Awards, you are not obligated to stay for the remainder of the meeting. I know that.
You want to stay for cupcakes?
Yes, treats.
Stay for cupcakes.
But unless you're really interested in the machinations of local government, then you could stay. But in any case, the rest of our group here tonight represents our Scott West Wrestling Co-op, which, as you well know, is shared between ourselves and Belle Plaine. We've got 5 wrestlers and their families here tonight so that we can recognize them. These gentlemen qualified as individuals for the state tournament down at the Excel Energy Center a couple of weekends ago. So we've got Jacob Lehman, Mason Brigham, Isaac Williams, Tristan Holbrook, and Dylan Thomas here for us to be able to honor them tonight. I'm going to welcome Gerald Stoffaker, the head coach of our wrestling program, up to just share a few words about whether it be the program at large, but especially our 5 state tournament participants, and then we'll have a chance to recognize them as well. Stoff, you want to share just a little bit with us?
You were doing such a great job.
You see them every day.
School board, family, friends, thanks for coming tonight, or thanks for welcoming us tonight. Again, these are the 5 guys that individually qualified as a team. We came up a little short again this year. Watertown nipped us in the finals. Well, they beat us by 12, but in wrestling terms, that's kind of being nipped. But they ended up winning the state title, so no sense hanging our heads. We wrestled a tough schedule this year. We were 17-6. We wrestled the likes of Becker to a 1-point match. They ended up 3rd, I believe. Marshall, it came down to a 1-point match in the heavyweight. We lost, and they were 5th. and then Watertown beat us twice. So 4 of our losses were the top 5 teams in our state. So we put ourselves out there, and ultimately, I think it hardened some of these guys for the end of the year. Jacob, 107-pounder, had a great section tournament. Led us off. At the state tournament, and this is not child abuse, but after he lost his first match, he was so nervous whether he was going to get back into the tournament, I couldn't get him to stop eating. And at one point, I'm like, Jacob, you have to stop eating because you are getting back into this tournament and you're going to win that match, which means then you got to get back down the weight the next day. Well, every time I turned around, he had something in his hand. We literally had to play defense against his cooler, all right? But, ultimately, he got back in the tournament, won that match, got in the second day, he made weight and got back down the weight. But it was one of those, last year we had guys that are pacing around so much. This year, it's the first guy I've ever seen in 25 years nervous eating, all right? He was nervous eating. So. Mason Bregerman, 145-pounder, 2-time state qualifier now. Came up short in the blood round. All right. Had a great year. Won some big matches for us. Helped us all year long. Looking forward to him hopefully qualifying as a 3rd time next year and getting up on that podium. Next is Isaac Williams. Isaac's that guy that tried to come back last year for us from all the injuries. This year he was healthy. And he proved, all right. Lost a tough semifinals match, heartbreaker, but came back and took 3rd, improved where he's at. I think Isaac will be, got to believe he's going to be one of the top 1 or 2 guys rated coming out of the gate next year. So looking for big things. Over here to my right, or right behind me, we have Dylan Thomas. Dylan at the beginning of the year, and I don't know if anybody really knows, AD knows, Dylan didn't want to wrestle. He wasn't going to wrestle, all right? We have a long-standing tradition of ex-Scott West guys come back to the room, and they work out with the guys during Thanksgiving break and whatever, and Zach Siegel and him got into quite looked like 2 cats going at it, rolling around, and they banged heads, and Dylan was mad. And, it split him open pretty bad, and we had to send him home to get some, stitches and get him stitched up. And at that point, he was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So, but after some talk, people talked to him, parents, a lot of friends talked to him. He's like, all right, I'll do it. I'm going to finish the year. I'm going to finish what I started. And he ended up 4th in the state. Not too bad for a guy that didn't want to wrestle.
Amazing.
Then we have Tristan over here. Tristan, another guy that he loves life. All right, he's nothing seems to rattle and nothing seems to bother him. And it's like, hey, you ready to go? Whatever. Ready to go? Let's get after this guy. Yeah, all right. And again, took 4th in the state. Not too bad for a guy that again just kind of loves life and likes going through it, which ain't a bad thing, all right? He doesn't ever get too worked up. If you look at Tristan, you never know if he's having a bad day or a good day because it's pretty much the same, and that's what I appreciate. So thank you again. Hopefully next year my goal is still to get that team back to the state tournament. Isaac, Mason, Jacob, you with me on that? Yeah? All right. So, everybody told us Watertown was unbeatable this year. I think we gave them a battle. They lose some guys, we lose some guys, and we're going to be ready to strap it up and battle again. So, thank you very much.
Okay.
You had a trainer that liked wrestling.
Yes. And don't anybody leave though, because Elise will be taking pictures back by our little grate thing there. This is a former stats girl, happens to be my granddaughter. I'm sorry, but this little guy happened to fall in love with Stoff and with Al, and so he's going to help present the awards. Sorry, but I'm going to take this privilege. So, you want to read this? And they all say the same, so we'll only read it once.
All right. These Jordan Pride Awards are presented to U5 wrestlers whose endeavor for excellence has shown character, determination, and hard work that represents the values of our school and community. This is a small token of gratitude to say congratulations and thank you for being role model to others. So, Mason. Make that to Mason. Good job, Mason. Yeah, you gotta shake the little guy's hand. Tristan. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Jacob. Congratulations.
Great job. Congratulations.
Dylan. Congratulations.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute.
And Isaac. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Again, we're just, thank you, Coach. I know that you coaches put in a ton of time with helping to make these gentlemen not only good wrestlers, but good human beings. And from the bottom of our heart, thank you. So congratulations, guys. We're just proud of you, and we look forward to what next year brings, and we look forward to the future for you guys graduating. So thank you. So how about if we start with Dale and her family getting a picture, and then we'll do the wrestlers. Pardon? There you go. Oh, they did. Okay, then we'll do the wrestlers, and then we'll do the board with Renee. And grab treats. They're out there, so grab treats. Okay, fun. Grab some treats.
It's not very often I'm speechless.
Need plugins over here. I need a plug-in.
Much more time you got?
I wonder if it tells me time on this one. 4:50. Is that 4 hours? 4 minutes.
Well, you're gonna find out real fast. if
It
it's
says
hours or
32%,
minutes.
so 4 hours.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
How long does meeting take tonight? Yeah, Deb said it was her. But unless that's
You guys, come on. We'll go to the picture. What?
Who's Teresa?
It's my great grandson.
I was like trying to think of the guy. That's not a makeup.
No. Okay, let's do the picture. Corinne.
Picture time, Jenny.
Jenny.
Corinne's right here. I'm here.
Who was it?
I don't know. I gotta figure it out.
Gotta go to your activity log.
It must have been. It was Hennon though, so it had to be Connie then.
She's probably like, what?
Yes, it was because it was at the California Zoo, and I was like, "Oh, look who's on vacation!"
Oh my god.
Yeah, see, I got it.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No,
It is.
I have no more vacation.
Oh, me neither. Today.
We'll have more.
I will.
Why? The grandbaby? Oh, yeah.
But yes, I'm sure the great grandbaby plays a role too. Would definitely would for me.
I'm so sad. Chad Williams is like packing up the last of their stuff today in their house. I think they move out Thursday. I think that's their.
Who's moving in?
Some family from Shakopee. They have two daughters, 12 and 8. Chad's had like 10 acres. Like, I think it's either by Lisu or Lee Center.
Okay, so they're still kind of
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
general.
Down they'll still go to Jordan.
Okay. And is it that Chalupskis are trying to go to South Dakota?
Shlovsky, Sioux Falls. His wife got a job in Sioux Falls.
So they're going to Sioux Falls.
Yep, yep. Which they said works out because their son's going to, where's he going? 40 minutes away from Sioux Falls. Is it USD? SDSU?
I just know Augustana.
Yeah, I think it might be SDSU.
Okay. Yeah, so that works out. I think you're right. I think it is. Maybe it's SDSU.
I think it's SDSU.
That's where Logan.
Yeah,
He's in Sioux Falls.
yeah, yeah,
And his kid.
yeah.
Okay. All right. We do have some business that we have to get done tonight. So
I don't think our microphones are very loud.
Are the mics working? There we go.
okay. Okay. The next item on the agenda, public comment. Nobody indicated they wanted to speak on the public comment. Consent agenda items are the minutes from February 10th and February 24th. Monthly finance reports from February. We have a lot of donations, which is very nice. Mighty Cause for the JES backpack program in the amount of $45. An anonymous donation to the JES music program in the amount of $25. Holly Kvath, thank you. Jordan Middle School, $50. Same person, Jordan Middle School, $25. Same person, Jordan Middle School, $50. Early Learning Services PTO, $1,000. Toro Company JHS Small Engines Program, they donated 10 new Toro training engines and 30 new and used assorted engines. Fish Lake Sportsman Club, the JHS Ed Department for archery class, $662. Amanda and Travis Burton, the Angel Fund donation, $25. Jennifer Warshek, Angel Fund donation, $10. Minnesota Valley Electric Co-op, Jordan Middle School field trip grants, $810. The Nomadic Shack LLC, the Scott West Fishing Program, $150. Herman's Landscaping, Scott West Fishing Program, $300. Soda Electric LLC, Scott West Fishing Program, $200. Fish Lake Sportsman Club, Scott West Fishing Program, $2,000. Nicole and Alex Buckentine, Scott West Fishing Program, $150. Michael and Jessica Heimkees, Scott West Fishing Program, $150. All of these are Scott West, all the rest of them. Cabin Fever Sporting Goods, $300. Brett Holbrook Agency, $300. Harris Capital, $300. Shields Eden Prairie, $200. Women Anglers of Minnesota, $300. Allen Hodak Agency, $300. Strike Force Bowl, $150. Mid-America Festivals, $300. Lang's Plumbing and Heating, $500. Munnins Excavating and Trucking, $150. Jordan Family Dental, $200. John and Renee Poitra, $250, and Country Prime Time, $150. And then we have matters of employment. There was one change. We have Adam Holler was hired as a building engineer for the middle school at Lane 1, Step 6, at an hourly rate of $24.69. Mary Stark, musical choreographer for the high school, a one-time stipend amount of $12.57. Brooklyn Bedney, C softball coach at the high school, $27.26. Jarrett Fry, baseball coach middle school, $19.81. And James Rustad, golf coach for the middle school, $17.35. Those are all per Schedule C. And then we have resignations and retirements. We have Barb Boothie, retirement. And I want to acknowledge all the years that Barb taught in our school and worked with our students. So congrats to her on her retirement. Nikki Knapp, resignation. Again, thanks to Nikki for all her work in the district office. The retirement also of Sarah Mullenhoff and Deb Kessler, thanks to them. One was the kids company group leader, the other the site lead cook. We have Ariana Quiros, resignation, a paraprofessional. Gloria Altoff, resignation, paraprofessional. And Ashley Hyatt, resignation as the behavioral intervention teacher. Then we have the surplus items. Kelly, our nutrition services director, has directed us to dispose of the equipment that is no longer needed due to the building project and the new kitchen. So there's the central upright proofer and warming unit, the Black Diamond residential chest freezer, plastic shelving, 12 of them, wire shelving, 2 of them, Blakesley stand mixer, the stainless steel cabinets, 3 of them, True Superior upright commercial cooler, 2-door, stainless steel table, a Vulcan double convection oven, a Vulcan 6-burner range with oven, AccuTemp boilerless steamer, and Bev Air upright cooler, 1-door. Those are the consent agenda items. I will entertain a motion to approve consent.
Motion to approve.
Molly, is there a second?
A second.
Corinne seconds. Any questions or discussion?
Do we have to approve it for them to pick up like the kitchen surplus stuff?
Yeah, we have to, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm just wondering, because it sounds like they already picked it up, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is just procedural.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have use for it, but we do auction it off and sell it, but
Yeah.
it is procedural, yes.
No, it makes sense. I was like,
Yeah.
if we have to vote, why did they pick it up? I don't know. I was just curious. But yeah. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, Superintendent Evenson, I'll turn it over to you for the budget projections update.
All right. Chair Polly, members of the board, tonight I will be doing an overview of our situation in terms of budget for this year and moving forward into the next school year. This has been an ongoing conversation really throughout the whole school year, but we had a more, I think, involved conversation with our board retreat and then recently at a work session. Looking forward, you know, to the upcoming school year, we are going to start out with an unbalanced budget. So for the current school year that we are in, we knew moving into this year that we would likely, you know, have a difference in terms of expenditures and revenues around that 300,000 mark. Right now, we are projected to land somewhere around that $227,000 mark. For the upcoming school year, we make our projections based on data that is known at this point in time. I think Amy would say over and over again, these are projections. The numbers are live. They change based on a variety of unknowns, but we do base this on enrollment. So when you take a look at where our enrollment is, it has been relatively stable, which is a good thing. There are districts that are not as stable and have had, steep declines. We've fortunately been stable, but what that means also is that our enrollment isn't increasing, and so as costs go up, our revenue doesn't follow. So our projected revenue for the upcoming school year, the statute changed, and so the legislature has to tell us by the last day in February what to expect in terms of what percent will go on the formula. This year was the first time that happened, and sure enough, at 5 o'clock on February 28th, we got our number. We anticipated that it would be around 2%. It turned out to be 2.74, which is a good thing, and it resulted in an additional $108,000. And so when you look at our revenue and expenditures, on the next slide, you'll see that, that was one of the considerations. It's also a negotiations year for most employee groups. We know that everything's more expensive every year. Paid family medical leave will go into effect January 2026. We know that expenditure will result in a significant expenditure for the district. Summer unemployment, we don't know where that will land. We don't know if funding will run out. We don't know if there will be some legislative shifts this session to fund that ongoing. But we have to anticipate that that will be part of our budget. The first summer that we had summer unemployment as a cost, I think it was somewhere around $92,000. Second summer was around $150,000. And so we anticipate, if nothing changes, that will be part of our general fund expense. Also, increases to TRA employer contributions go into effect this year. So our projected estimated difference for the 25-26 school year is $342,000. So this number does not include the projected difference of $227,000. And again, these are rough estimates. There are still many unknowns, but this is the best information we have at this time. So at our board and administrative retreat, we reviewed the state of our Jordan Public School District, our programming and data. We talked about the financial status of the district and a systemic process in how we take a look objectively at where we are in relation to our budget, how we spend or don't spend in comparison to districts that are just like us, comparable districts. We talked about our priorities, and as an administrative team, we take that direction to move forward within our work. So balancing the budget for 25-26 to the degree possible, we acknowledge that there are unknowns within the revenue streams and also expenditures that could come forward. We need to right size in areas of overspend in relation to comparable districts. And then in terms of considerations, we strive to continue excellent programming for kids, and student experiences, alignment to class size ranges, basing annual staffing on enrollment, and then minimizing impact when we can. So we look at our comparable districts, and as we do that, really there are 7 key areas I think that are really important for us to pay attention to. Our spending in district level administration, school level administration, transportation, operations, instruction, regular instructional support, and pupil support services. There are other areas that we also pay attention to, like equipment costs, long-term facilities maintenance costs, special education, nutrition services, community ed. Those are different buckets, but we still have to pay attention to where those are at. So in terms of process with right-sizing the budget, tonight you can see school board meeting. We have the annual resolution that directs administration to reduce programming and staffing. We do that every year, regardless of where our budget is, in the event that we have something that comes up and we need to make some budgetary shifts. But I think it's really to make the distinction that there are dual processes. So every single school year, regardless of where our budget is, every single school year we look at our enrollment and we staff based on enrollment. Some districts don't do that. Some districts, there's always 6 sections of, whatever grade level, and it just stays that way forever. That is not efficient in terms of budget and staffing and modeling. And for the past 5 years, we have, I think, done a good job of looking at enrollment and staffing based on that, and that has helped us be balanced over the last 5 years. So that's one process. The other process is budget adjustments as needed. So we take a look, I've met with principals and directors, we look at registrations for every course, we look at enrollment for every grade level, and make determinations based on class size and what we can offer. And that really is where we start with building our staffing needs. Administrative work, we've had multiple meetings to really talk about the data and think about what we will do for recommendations moving forward so that we can make cuts in areas and make adjustments in areas that will have a long-term impact so that we're not having to come back every year and do this. And then full staffing update tomorrow morning. So the target adjustment is $570,000. That's based on the $227,000 and the $342,000. So that's our target, and that is paired with the dual processes. So we'll come to that number based on our enrollment, based on staffing, and then also budget adjustments in other areas. So within the district level administration area, we're looking at reducing the board budget by about 1/3. So we'll be making some shifts in terms of meetings and different things that are expenses throughout the year for the board. We in that area had a larger unemployment insurance expenditure this year. We don't anticipate that being there next year. And then also we need to continue to monitor our insurance costs. One of the trends we saw is that ours ran a little bit higher than some other districts. In the area of school level administration, there are no recommended adjustments. We are very much in alignment with where we should be in comparable districts. Within instruction regular, we have an adjustment of $142,000. This dollar amount is solely out of the dual process, solely out of the staffing to enrollment. And so we every year look at teaching positions, we look at the number of students that we have, and we look at what we need for staff to make that happen. So that is an adjustment of 2 positions at the elementary. We make adjustments in 6 class pay throughout the year, every year, and then certain stipends in areas that sometimes are annual, sometimes it's biannual. Instructional support, that adjustment is around $62,000. That's a 1.0 student services position. With that, related to that, we'll be taking a look at restricted funds that we have and how we can redeploy those funds to help have savings in other areas and help us maintain requirements. For example, the literacy specialist position we're required to have by August, I think August 30th this summer. Pupil support services, that's about $357,000. This is an area, again, this one stands out for us. Every time we look at our comparables, we are either spending double or triple what other districts are spending in that area. This makes the most sense to have the largest reduction in this area. We will be reducing or recommending the reduction of a school psych position, going from a 2.0 to actually a 1.2 because we do have someone else in the district that is a licensed school psych that will pick up some of the caseload on that. We will not fill open paraprofessional positions at this time, and we're looking for the reduction of 6 paraprofessional positions for the next school year. Operational maintenance, we are in alignment with budget and comparable districts. We will, however, continue to monitor ongoing staffing and duties for potential efficiencies. We've already started some progress in that area and are looking at different ways with scheduling and different things that we can do to be even more efficient in that area. Transportation, no recommended adjustments. We're in alignment and on budget with comparable districts, and actually our transportation costs right now are lower than many comparable districts. Other annual staffing measures, between stipends and sixth class pay that we don't need for the upcoming year, around 15,000. And then there are two areas, as well that will have possible additional adjustments that are unknown at this time. One, we are looking at shifting our online service provider. We've currently been working with Elevate. A large group of us had a meeting with another provider today, and we'll be moving in that direction. I'll need to be, having a conversation with Southwest Metro and letting them know that, but it's significant savings, and actually the service is incredible. So, and then early retirement incentive. I know I talked at the work session about what that looks like, and I'll be recommending some tweaks to what I shared with you previously. And I think we're going to end up with some good options for staff. So total adjustments, $579,000. Adjustments, again, in those key expenditure areas. It improves us in terms of being efficient with our resources. Our goal is to stabilize our finances so that despite some of the unknowns, we have a far better path forward, and it's I think less disruptive when we have those surprises legislatively, for example, with costs, if we take these measures. Some may show an adjustment based on annual staffing and enrollment. I go back to the instructional piece. That's an area we outspend really everybody as well, based on the cost of our contracts that we have in that area. That being said, that's a choice we've made as a district, and we will continue to staff to enrollment, and that's just where it'll be with our budget. But we will continue to monitor all budget areas ongoing. So in terms of steps moving forward, next week when we meet, I'll be bringing forward some action items to move this forward. Employee notices will be provided, and any program and placement updates as needed will happen after spring break. Staff and I met with multiple staff members Friday and today as well. I never like to have people blindsided, and because we were talking about this at the board meeting, I wanted respectfully to make sure people knew that this would be the conversation. We owe that to them. They're our team members. So April 14th board meeting, if there are any additional things we need to do, I would bring it forward at that time. In May, we'll be informing some of our non-licensed staff of what their position will be or won't be in the upcoming year. And then in June, Amy will bring forward the budget for 25-26 based on those adjustments. So June 30th, by law, that's the last day employee notices can be finalized by the board. So we do have time if there are any shifts that we need to make. Again, we don't know what's going to happen this legislative session. I would have never in 1,000 years thought we would have all the things happen the last two sessions. But that gives us a little flexibility if we need to do something further. Any questions? And this is not an action item. It was just informational for you. And I feel like there shouldn't really be anything new. These are all things that we've talked about. Again, tomorrow morning, I'm doing a Google Meet, and we'll be making sure that's available for everyone. And because I really like staff to hear it from me, and it's impossible to get us all in the same room this time of year and that. So we're going to do it through Google Meet so that I can go through this with our team members and that. And one thing I'll say is when you do this kind of work, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of shifting of positions, there's rights to positions and all of those things. So our administrators are going to be very busy over the next couple of weeks and making sure that we have those conversations and get people placed where they need to be per licensure. So
Can I just say I appreciate that you looked at our budget too and made adjustments to that.
Oh yeah, thanks Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know that was important to this board. It's been a conversation. I know you've brought that forward many times, and regardless of how small that budget is, I do agree. I think it's important that there is that piece. So
Yeah, I think every little bit
every bit helps.
accumulates, and so I just
Yep.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I think the presentation was very thorough, and it was a refresher from our work session as well, so I appreciate the work and the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is not an action item, but the next item related to this is an action item. It's a resolution. If there's no further questions, we will move on to the resolution. Okay, and the resolution is directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions and reasons therefore. Whereas the financial condition of the school district dictates that the school board must reduce expenditures immediately, and whereas this reduction in expenditure must include discontinuance of positions and discontinuance or curtailment of programs, and whereas a determination must be made as to which teachers' contracts must be terminated and not renewed, and which teachers may be placed on unrequested leave of absence without pay or fringe benefits in effecting discontinuation of positions. Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 717 as follows, that the school board hereby directs the superintendent of schools and administration to consider the discontinuance of programs or positions to effectuate economies in the school district and reduce expenditures, make recommendations to the school board for the discontinuation of programs, curtailment of programs, discontinuance of positions, or curtailment of positions. So I will entertain a motion to approve the foregoing resolution.
Motion to approve.
Molly, is there a second?
I'll second.
Jenny seconds. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Molly Maniak,
Yes.
Lauren Patterson,
Yes.
Rob Langheim,
Yes.
Corinne Hennon,
Yes.
Jenny Kepke,
Yes.
Christina Olson,
Yes.
Deb Polly.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. And the next item is 8.3, the land rental contract. Saferman, okay.
So attached to the board agenda is a land rent agreement for the farmland that we have. Bauer Brothers is no longer going to rent it. So we reached out to a couple that a realtor gave us names of, and so Dan Kreiser Farms is going to rent the land at a price of $275 per acre. And his land rental agreement begins on April 1st, 2025, and will end on March 31st, 2026. And this basically sums it up. And it's for 28 acres of land, and we'll have to renew it again next April. So it's my recommendation that the board approve the lease, and he has signed it, so it's just the board chair and clerk have to sign it yet. And we'll be all set to go.
Were we anticipating this?
Yes,
So this is included in our budget already?
yes.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
And it's the same price, right, that we normally have
Yes, yep. It's just different renters this
before?
year.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember what the previous one was, what you
Yeah.
said.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the land rental contract with
Kreiser Farms.
Dan Kreiser Farms.
Yeah.
Motion to
Remember which
approve.
one of the Kreisers?
Motion to approve.
Corinne, is there a second?
I'll second.
Jenny? Okay, any more discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, we are on to superintendent reports.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you. That was the kindest surprise ever. I'm truly speechless, so thank
Don't you get
That-
suspicious when we're passing a folder around and you don't know
You guys
about
pass
this?
cards around all the time. I truly did not pay, I didn't register, so thank you. It meant a lot. I'm grateful. In terms of my superintendent report, I know you've all read that already. We've talked a little bit about monitoring our budgets and funding. But, you know, sometimes people go online and read my report, so I wanted to make sure if they saw nothing else that they see kind of an overview of where we're at in terms of looking at our budget, so you can see that summary there. I want to also thank, we had 3 board members who lobbied at the state capitol advocating for Jordan Public Schools. I want to thank Deb and Lauren and Chrissy for their work on Monday the 10th with MSBA and MASA lobbying day and at the Capitol. And the advocacy that happens there, I think, is really important. Legislators, they trust you, your elected officials locally. You know what's going on in schools, and they need that communication. And so I'm very grateful that you were able to make time and do that. On behalf of the district, thank you so much. Building projects update. Since we last, had a board meeting, we are in our spaces at Jordan Elementary School. It's awesome. Yeah, it's been really exciting to do that. Work has begun on phase 1.5 in Area A. The roofing continues. It's just really busy. And so pretty excited about all of that. Again, phase 2 will start as soon as school's out, parallel to the Sunset Drive project. So yeah, I think before we know it, we're going to blink. It's going to be October because it's just that busy. So very excited about that. And last but not least, Celebrate Jordan, April 13th. In my weekly update, there's a link to like a Google sign up. If you can sign up for just volunteering some time, even if you can only be here for an hour, it means the world to the community to see you guys there. And also it's just super helpful for the community ed staff as they put that together. So if you have questions, call me or call Cullen. He's organizing the whole thing, but would love to have you join us. And with that, that's my report.
Any questions for Superintendent?
Is lunch going faster at the elementary school?
I haven't heard that it's going too slow, but
Because wasn't that one of the issues that the cafeteria was so small and that?
oh, I see. I took it the
Yeah,
wrong
yeah.
way.
No.
So here's the thing, because it was such a new experience and getting through, they haven't completely compacted the schedule like they will for next year. And so it's been going smoothly. That's why I was like, what?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything. But no, they haven't done a new aligned schedule yet just because it's mid-year craziness. So.
Right. Awesome.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on any of the administrative reports? You all had an opportunity to read them, so, anything? Busy time for all of our administrators, so thank you to all of you for your reports. We appreciate them. Okay, on to standing committee reports and liaison reports. Budget finance, we just had an opportunity to go through that. Calendar has not met. City school, we have
April. I think April.
April, okay. Community ed rec, Corinne.
We just met. I had to leave early, but big things we talked about was just if there was any noise or questions or comments in the community about programs that people wanted to see. So we kind of just talked about if we were missing anything or potentially doing a survey. But I mean, overall, I think what we offer is there's a lot of options. So I think we're feeling pretty good there. Celebrate Jordan is, we just had a plug for that, so I don't need to go into that, but there is still plenty of volunteer spots open, so if anyone can help. We talked a little bit about esports. They had a really good season. They overall had 23 students, and 3 kids medaled at the state tournament in St. Cloud. And that is all we got to while I was there. A couple other things, just looking at some facilities, pricing. I mean, Wheels Up Wednesday is still going strong, and then just summer planning. So.
Thank you. District advisory, Jen? let's
Yeah,
see.
we talked about kind of like a shift in potentially getting rid of like weighted grades and oh my God, what's it called?
Valedictorian.
Valedictorian and salutatorian. And it was pretty positive feedback that that would be better for students to go that way. So I think that's coming up. And then I feel like we talked about something else and I cannot remember what it was. Was that mainly it?
Stephen presented
yeah.
on the new website.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
And that our website is obsolete and we're getting a new one. And we have no choice. Pretty much. Like, yeah.
It was a good meeting. There was
It
really,
was.
really good discussion about both the website and about the shift in the honors program and how we rank kids and weighting kids' grades and stuff. So it's Principal Visner and his team will be doing a lot more investigating into that before we move forward with things. But I think there'll be some shifts there possibly. So it was really good discussion and really good feedback though from the people that were there. So
We also talked about the secure entrances, like
Yes.
changing the middle school so it matches all the other buildings.
Mhm.
That was going to happen.
Good. Any questions on that? Did we miss anything, Stephen, on your stuff? Okay, thank you. Okay, facilities, no, meet and confer, no, negotiations. We did get the letter of intent from Sarah Sievers on behalf of the teachers union. So that's the first step, and we will be moving forward with that when the time is appropriate. So that's the first official step in the process of negotiations, is that the union submits a letter to us saying they're filing their intent to negotiate, so. That is to be continued. Policy, we meet the 31st, okay? APAC met this week. We went over the budget. Sarah Miller-Martin went over her planned agenda for the whole year, some really fun things that they're planning. Next September, a wild racing event, attending the Lower Sioux Cultural Center, doing an Indigenous Academy with Belle Plaine out at Mystic Lake, going to the Ojibwe Museum, a storytelling event, doing some Indigenous board and hand games. Next March, doing a maple syrup event, visiting the treaty site in St. Peter and the Reconciliation Park in Mankato. And that leads up to next year's banquet, but this year's banquet is April 30th. So if you have not RSVP'd, I hope you do. It's a great event.
It is.
There was a little bit of talk about creating a smudge room. That's down the road. And then we talked quite a bit about the banquet. And again, the discussion about who qualifies for an eagle feather or not. They have some regulations about if you're direct lineage and stuff like that. So that was a very good conversation. It was a good meeting.
What's a smudge room?
I
Should
can
I
tell
know
you
that?
about that.
Jenny,
So in Shakopee we have one. It is, well, ours is, it's a smudge like space, like a outside hut kind of. And our industrial tech kids, like our carpentry program, built it. But students go out there to smudge during the day when they need to kind of like calm, or like there's certain times that they would do it. And so it's just a space for them with their beliefs that they can practice.
were
So
you
it's
at the
kinda cool.
banquet last year?
I was.
Okay, was it last year or the year before? They did offer smudging at the end. It's
They did it the 2 years ago in the beginning. They came around and smudged
That might
everybody.
have been
Right.
2 years ago.
Okay.
Like purifies, helps you to recenter kind of.
okay, Booster Club, Lauren or Chrissy?
We haven't had a meeting, have we? Did I go to it? I don't think I went to it.
Rob, you want to fill us in?
I wasn't there.
Is Chrissy getting the invites?
Are you getting the invites?
Hang on a minute, I was there.
Third Wednesday, we got one on Wednesday, 7
She
o'clock.
she needs to be on the
Be right here.
list.
I was there.
This room.
I was there. Let me find the agenda. Skip me and then I'll find the agenda. I was
Oh.
at the last meeting. I was thinking we had met this month and it's Wednesday.
It's in 2 days.
Yeah.
So will one of you two make sure that Chrissy gets
Yes.
on the?
I will.
Okay. And, okay, Education Foundation, Jenny or Molly?
Did you go on the 11th?
I don't know, am I really on it? Someone emailed me and said I was on it, I didn't think I was.
Yeah, you're on it.
I don't think I've been getting the email either.
Yeah, so they meet quarterly. They just met on the 11th. I wasn't there, I was out of town, but they did do the grant recipients. They kind of went through those applications that came through, and they talked about the yard sign sales. So anybody that has a senior, get your yard signs purchased for.
Okay, I will go to the next one.
And the next meeting for them is in July,
Okay.
when they will be electing new board members, because I believe Jenny Carline is not being president anymore. So somebody else will be.
She's got a lot going on with
There's a
boosters.
lot, yes.
Yeah.
So I do know that they're having the subcommittee, the gala committee is gearing up already for next year's gala. So there's a meeting, I think it's, I don't know if it's this week or next week, so it's in the works.
I mean, that's right up my alley, so.
Okay, Lauren, are you ready?
I'm not.
You're not, okay?
I'm still working on it. Just give me a minute.
Jenny, you're on the emails.
Okay, I will go through them. I thought it was a mistake.
Okay, we'll skip Booster Club again. We'll move on to legislative.
Do you have the,
Well, I didn't remember.
how do you remember? You weren't there, were you?
Well, I get updates. If I'm not there, then I'm getting briefed.
Let's let Rob give.
I'm gonna let Rob give the update.
Okay, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, no, so we had a, good meeting last week, or last month. So in terms of kind of fundraising, from a gambling perspective, couple of kind of good wins kind of from our perspective. So the Jordan Slipper Club now has e-taps. So that's kind of a fun little kind of extra kind of piece there. So hopefully that'll be somewhat successful. We were able to get a couple more games in Frankie's, so that's positive. Successful gala. So we were able to fundraise. I think it kind of came in, what was it, like, I think kind of, it was like $4,000 or $5,000 for kind of each kind of organization. And then obviously kind of, there was a kind of a big kind of winner, with one of the raffles that occurred there. But overall, kind of feeling like we're continuing to go kind of in the right direction to get a little bit more exposure and kind of mix fun with fundraising. So that part is good. Are continuing to have a few kind of requests that are coming in kind of with some of the different kind of sports seasons, so we're able to support some of those activities. And I think kind of one of the big things that we're starting to think about now is, as we think about a potential kind of larger gift, we're now in a position to be able to start to think about that. That becomes much more important with the school district and some of the things that we're thinking about here, because we want to stay very kind of closely coordinated. One of the big things that we've focused on is really making sure that we're staying coordinated not only with John, but then also with district leadership in terms of what you see as potential enhancements to activities, programs, and then allowing the Booster Club to be able to help support that versus random parents or individuals coming up with brilliant ideas and trying to kind of push them through. So just letting kind of all of you kind of know that that is probably something that's going to be kind of on the horizon here over the upcoming year. That's what I got.
I'm glad you did it because I didn't remember all of that and I was there.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Rob. Okay, legislative. Chrissy and Lauren, you want to do a recap of last Monday?
We went to the Day of the Capitol, and it was an all-day event. It starts at 9 and it ends at 3:30. MSBA does a fabulous job of organizing that event for us and planning the whole day out for us. So we start at the Radisson, and we all meet together in a big room, and MSBA kind of gives us an overview of the legislative updates and things like that. And then they have two people come in. One would be from the GOP and one would be from the DFL, and they talk about topics. So we had the Education Senate Finance Committee panel come in, Mary Kushner and then Jason Roderick. And then we also had the House Education Finance Committee panel come in, and that's Mary Frances Clare and, of course, our very own Ben Bakeberg. It was really nice to see him down there. He is, like, in his element, you guys. He, like, speaks so eloquently, and it is just amazing. After that, we leave and we actually go to the Capitol and we hang out at the Capitol from like 12 to 3:30. We meet with our representatives, so we met with Ben for a while, talked about our budget deficit, the $570,000, and some issues that are happening in the board. We did the same thing with Senator Pratt, but we had Prior Lake in with us as well, and talked him through all of our budget deficits and the challenges that we're having because of the last legislative session. We did talk a lot about how much the unemployment is going to cost us and how those costs have increased for districts, and since they aren't funding it, it's going to be coming from our general fund. What else? Oh, we got to sit in one of the legislative sessions, and that was really interesting. So, I don't know. I would encourage next year everybody to go. It's a lot of fun. You learn a lot. It's hard, and it's hard because you're kind of uncomfortable. You know, it is. It's just you're out of your element. It's the element of the state legislator. It's not our element. We aren't, used to how things are running. But I would definitely recommend going again.
Chrissy, you want to chime in on your perspective?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting and stuff. The panels in the morning were the most interesting to me. It was just hearing their different answers to the questions that were being asked. It was probably the most informative part of the day. When Lauren and Deb went to meet with Senator Pratt, I sat and listened to a little speech by the governor, and Ben got a little kudos from the governor, so that was kind of cool in his speech. But overall, it was a really good day. It was very, very informative. It was really nice to kind of hear what their discussions are and stuff, and what they're talking about.
As part of the education finance piece, it was interesting because they were talking about every district is cutting. Every district has to make budget cuts. And Ben at one point asked for a raise of hands because the DFL said no need to raise hands, but everybody's going through these budget cuts, and Ben was like chiming in like, no, let's see how this is impacting our districts. And everybody was raising their hands because they were all making budget cuts associated with teachers. So, I mean, they know about it and they're aware. So hopefully they've listened to their school districts and helps out.
That's what I was going to ask is, did you feel heard? Like, do you feel like they...
I feel heard from Ben and Senator Pratt, absolutely 100%. And they are the people that we go to because they represent us. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what's being said to other legislators. Like, are they saying the same stuff that we're saying? It's like St. Paul and Minneapolis and those school districts that are really cutting probably a whole heck of a lot more than we are. Are they going in and asking for... I don't want to say we're asking for additional money. We're asking for you to be responsible fiscally and either supply the funds that you mandated for districts so it doesn't come out of our general fund, or change what you mandated over the last biennium.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not asking for we're not just asking for money. We just want to be helped out, and we want you to stop making unfunded mandates.
That's essentially the key, and I would say, I think they are hearing it, and I would say there is this, I've sensed almost like, how do I say this in the most politically correct way? I don't think there's any question that whether you call them educational opportunities or mandates, I don't think there's any question that they were impactful and that it's costing school districts a ton of money. And I would say I don't think districts are asking for more money. We're asking them to fund the mandates or the educational opportunities that are new to us, or provide some relief. Repeal them, apply some flexibility, exempt school districts, and trust local school boards. And I think that's been the message from MSBA. I know that's been the message as well through MASA, the Principals Association, MESPA, MASP. I mean, this isn't, they're all hearing it. So I don't know that they know what to do with it necessarily, because for those that felt it was a really good idea to provide all of these additional opportunities, that might, you know, feel not good, but I think the message is being heard. It's loud and clear. I don't know that they'll act on it.
Yeah, there was a couple takeaways for me. They also, MASSA helped put this on too, so it's not just MSBA, but the Superintendent's Association. So they actually had to cut off registrations because they had over 200 people and it was the most the room could hold. Denise and our MSBA lobbyist and the lobbyist for MASSA gave some overhead, some insight into some of the bills that are being presented, and then two of the panel discussions that went on, I can't remember if it was the policy or the education people, they specifically were asked questions about delaying the implementation of the FMLA and the ESST, because they alluded to the fact that if you remember the disaster that Minlars rolled out with the state, it was a total disaster. They're saying that the state is not ready technology-wise to even run this out there. And so there's a bill, I don't remember who the author is, a bill to ask for at least a 1-year delay if they won't, and also a bill out there to just scale back on it. And that was pretty obvious. One of the senators, I believe it was very supportive of it, and the other one was like, heck no, we're rolling this out. So,
well, and I think a big distinction, I know when I testified, and I know many others that I listened to that have testified, we offer good benefit packages currently. The one size fits all is tough, because for small businesses or for school districts that, you know, we don't necessarily we don't have a thing we sell to generate revenue, if that makes sense. Like, our budgets are kind of controlled in a certain manner. And so for us that already offer that, we would like to be exempt from that. It doesn't mean we don't value and prioritize people's time. We already are doing it. So this added expense of the family leave is tough. So I think that's a distinction.
yeah, and one of the bills was asking for relief, not just for school districts, but cities, townships, counties, because it's just not us that are struggling with trying to figure out how we're going to cover these costs.
Yeah.
So, and then the hearing that we got to sit in on was interesting because it was on, there's a bill to get rid of the MCAs and to let school districts choose their own assessment format. So that was the hearing that we got to sit in on, which was very interesting. So when it comes down to lobbying for or trying to support it, we may be, people will be, the MSBA and MASSA will be reaching out saying, please contact your legislators, asking them to vote in favor of that. So.
And I think they're looking as well at local operating revenues,
LOR.
the LOR. I think it's been like since 2013 since that's increased. And so, I mean, it's been a hot minute. And so I know they're looking for some testifiers on that too, because for districts like us, like we're one of like 90 districts that don't have an operating, levy. So that matters to us because that is our primary source of state funding. So hopefully there's some traction with that.
So could they just increase that number then, so you can get more?
The cap, and I think what they're asking for, it's under $1,000. I think it's in the like 990 something is what they're looking at for an increase, because it's been forever. So I think that there's been a lot of talk about that.
With the forecast that came out about the state budget, I mean, it's kind of doom and gloom, really, I think, as far as if
What
we're
they
going to
can
get
actually
anything.
do.
Our hope is just that they don't claw back some of the funding that we do have. And like the food program, the free meals and stuff, they're anticipating they're going to run out of money to support that.
Well, and there's been talk
fall back on us.
about that too. I know that there have been some bills put forward to, because I mean everybody agrees. Like anytime we can feed kids, amazing, of course. But in terms of I don't know, conversation that kids aren't getting meals. Like I've never heard that we haven't fed kids. Like I'm not aware of that ever in anywhere I've ever been in education. So that is a different, I think, line of thinking. And so the conversation has been for families that, make under $150,000, maybe who would get that benefit. And I think there's some traction with that, but I don't know that the governor would sign that. I think there's, some components to that too. So I think it's one of those things we're going to just have to watch and see. And, there's a lot of positive intent. I know that. And it's not just about schools at the Capitol either. Like we have to remember that too. We're one piece of the puzzle. That's all I really think about, if I'm being honest, is the school component of that. But you've got hospitals, you've got cities, you've got the whole general public out there too. So it's a busy time for them too. I get that.
Did you get any indication, at least around some of the educational pieces, that there's bipartisan support?
There are some bills that are. I know Ben actually wrote a bill with attendance, and that was a bipartisan bill. And I think there have been some others. I look around, you'll hear a lot about, and I've talked about it too, like education, educators with the retirement and the required pension. I think there are some bipartisan bills on that to try and work through that. That's one area, it's almost like when we talk about, those retirement benefits to help people do the early retirement piece. And then there's that assumed savings. With tier 2 teachers, one of the things the state is studying is we've never had this many people that have had to teach until they're 65 before they can retire. And that is expensive. And also teachers are like, this is crazy that we have to do this until 65. And I shouldn't say have to. Our teachers love what they do. It's not about that. But it's about a benefit that looks different for a whole group of teachers compared to the tier 2, the inequity there. And so I think that might have some traction as well. I know it's a big push. I support it just because I think about that and think about, some of the expenses that are coming down the pike for school districts that are going to have all these people that are working until they're 65 versus, the lower pay scale. And again, we can go round and round, and of course, it's valuable to have experienced teachers. I'm not saying that, but that is something that educators across the state are talking about, and you'll probably hear about it as board members.
I suspect that some of the things like Ben presented, right before the governor spoke, Ben presented on truancy bill. And he talked about the complexities of working with the county to get them to support it when we've got kids that are truant more than the 15 days. And they were doing, I think the bill was asking to change the length of that. And those kind of things that really don't have money attached to them, I can see that there's potential for those to pass. Any of them with dollars involved, I think would be tougher.
Yeah. But there are those that are reaching across the aisle. I mean, there are.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have any movement this year, it's gonna have to be that way.
I would agree.
And Chrissy overheard, when she was waiting for the governor, she overheard a comment about Ben from some of the people on the other side.
There were some other people on the other side of the aisle who had very positive things to say about Ben after his presentation on his absence bill and stuff. So.
He also did comment that there is definitely partnership going on between the aisles. We don't necessarily need to believe everything we hear in the news. There is definitely discussions and people reaching across.
Well, yeah, there should be, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely, there should be. Yeah.
it's the idea.
Good, so it was a great day.
It's a good theory. Yeah.
MSHSL has been super busy time of the year. I got to go to the state wrestling tournament for a couple days, which was super fun, especially supporting my grandson. I was down there last weekend for hockey. Actually, the board that I served with in 2015 had a reunion at McGovern's, and so 18 of the 22 board members were there. So it was a great reunion, and then we went over to the hockey game. So it was a lot of fun. this coming Saturday, I'll be going to the AAA Awards banquet at Lowe's Hotel downtown. I serve on that committee. Yeah, things are going on at MSHSL. We'll leave it at that. So, yeah, busy time. Scale?
I was not at the last meeting, I was, at Doctor's Florida.
Okay, I think you have a meeting Friday.
Yeah, this is Friday.
Okay. SEAC? Okay, Southwest Metro, nothing, we're still working on, not still, but we're working on our strategic plan. We'll be working more on that tomorrow night with Grace Belvedere, our person that they hired to do that. A lot of moving parts there. Our new executive director of Southwest Metro is shaking things up and making some changes and changing some positions around. We're working on looking at all of the administrative contracts and changing things, and also potentially changing some of the locations of some of our programs to and including ours here, which could change some of the staffing needs and stuff. So a lot of that is just in the works. And also ProAct is an adult, I don't know exactly what ProAct does. I think they work with placement of special ed students, I believe, into the community and stuff, and they rent space from Dean Lakes, and Dean Lakes, they're finding that they could use that space maybe a little better. So just working on some of those contracts, but that's about it for that. And Henry, student report.
All right, so I know it's a little late, so I'll try and keep this concise but detailed. If you guys have any questions, by all means, please interrupt me. I can answer almost all of them, and if not, I can get back to you before the next board meeting. So it's going to be the end of our third quarter this Thursday at 3 o'clock, so students are working hard getting their final grades in. Spring break starts this Friday, so the clocks at school are getting a bit sluggish, but we're excited to finish up the quarter and get going with our break. Start off with the elementary schoolers. They have conferences Thursday and Friday night. Teachers are being diligent with excitement of break within the students. Last Thursday they had their choir concert. I think it's also worth mentioning at the high school choir concert we had a select group of elementary school students that got to come sing with the high school kids, and that was great. That was through a program called JYS through Community Ed to further grow their love for singing. Middle school, don't got too much. Band concert was tonight about an hour ago. They had a few, like Corinne was saying, they had a few middle schoolers that placed one kid for esports. And then after spring break, they're going to have their spring play on the 25th and the 27th. I don't know the title of the spring play, but I do know that it's supposed to be good, and I think I'm going to try and actually go to it. High school, the band and choir are having their contests, or their big group contest. Band was today. I didn't catch how that went, but choir has theirs on Wednesday. Our spring sports are in full swing. I had my first practice of golf. We were outside. It was nice to see all the spring sports kind of outside. We had like track and softball and baseball all kind of consolidated and spread out behind the school, so it was interesting to see all the students being involved in their different activities and being outside in this beautiful weather that we have going on right now.
Yeah, till Wednesday.
We also had optional conferences last Thursday, and some of the students went to that. This weekend, we have our Dollars for Scholars phone-a-thon this weekend to raise scholarship money for some seniors that are graduating and attending university next year. So big luck for them. Hopefully we can fundraise a lot of money for our seniors next year. And then my last thing for high school was it's getting to be prom season, and our theme of the prom is garden in Greece. I'm probably going to communicate a little bit more with the prom committee, get a little bit more details about that, because I'm probably going to go. But just yeah, garden in Greece. Does anybody have any questions?
Was that, the middle school play, that's in April, right? The 25th, 26th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
April 25th and the 27th.
Would you know when the high school play is?
Yeah, first weekend of May.
That's the first weekend in May, okay. And then, I did have another question for you. Did you attend the college and career fair?
No, I didn't.
I can report a little bit on that.
I had something going on that day, but I really wanted to go to it.
Okay.
It was also last Thursday, I believe.
It was, yeah, busy time. It was really super fun. seeing you at boys basketball all the time doing your thing. So that was fun. Any questions for Henry? Great report, thank you. Okay, anything, Molly? Anything, Molly? Yeah.
I don't really have much. So with the high school musical, they invited some middle schoolers to try out, and Peyton is going to be an orphan in Annie. And I think the last time they did Annie, I was in 7th grade. So really excited to see that. And she's pumped, even though she has 0 minutes in her day to do another thing, but it's fine. Yeah, everything else is good. Excited for spring to be here. I'm hoping we don't get the snow. And yeah, my college kids come home in about 6 weeks, so I'm excited about that. So yeah,
Scary, the year's going so fast.
I know.
Lauren?
I don't have really anything much other than graduation is coming up, and there's a lot of people graduating in my family, so.
You go on your senior trip?
Oh, yeah. Going on spring break next week. I don't know, man. Going to Cabo, and I'm just not, I don't leave the country, people. I haven't left the country in 20 years.
That'll be fun.
I'll be fine.
Love it and travel with me everywhere.
Yeah, that's like an extension. It'll be fine. Cabo's easy.
Cabo's easy. Yeah,
Rob,
but no.
do you have anything?
I'll just say, it's super exciting that spring is here, and so kind of to Henry's point, it's kind of fun that everyone's kind of out and about. Congratulations to all the winter sports extracurricular folks. So we heard a little bit about wrestling did a great job. Boys, girls basketball did a great job. Kind of did all, kind of what they needed to before the buzz cut of Providence Academy and Southwest Christian, but it is what it is. Really kind of appreciate the seniors starting to get on the phones for some of the dollar for scholars. If you guys haven't got phone calls yet, definitely make sure that you're taking them. It's pretty cool that you've got seniors that are asking to be able to support that. Best of luck over this next week before spring break, and these next few weeks are going to go by fast, so they always do this time of the year.
When I'm not on vacation, I am busy. Really, I mean, we're just, I don't know, we have volleyball a lot. That's really all we got going on right now. And went to a lot of the winter sports stuff and had a few heartbreaking season enders. But yeah, just excited for spring. And June will be here really soon, and then we'll be school planning.
Thank you.
Jenny? Okay, Chrissy?
I did volunteer with Flowers for Scholars this weekend on Saturday morning, and so that was fun. I was recognized and we had about $10,000 raised for my lab.
Wow.
Yes, and those kids are amazing. Like, seriously, they start out so scared and like so nervous about it, but they are like killing it at the end.
I love it when they hand pick who they're calling.
Yes.
And they love it when you don't make them do their spiel.
So
Because
and
they
they might
always
use a
bring
different
in.
too, yeah.
No, you have to
No,
take
I
them
know.
through.
I can feel the anxiety.
That's part of the deal. That's right.
So they learn that, and they learn how to address envelopes, and like, if we have some people who want to mail in a check, and so they have to come down and like put together a packet and fill out the envelope and send it back, and so it is, it's all just life skills that are good to learn, and so it is very fun for them to volunteer for, and they're usually looking for adult volunteers every year, so if you're ever interested, reach out to me, I'll write. Other than that, spring sports, very young for our kids. Our son is trying middle school golf this year.
Great, good. 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 Thanks, Chrissy. Henry, do you have anything else?
I think I'm just excited for spring. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into the last part of the school year. I know that everybody keeps telling me to slow down my junior and senior year, but I'm excited to start taking the next steps. I'm also really excited for summer because that's
Good, good. I just have a couple things. I got to help serve breakfast in the new breakfast, and you asked the question about if it was amazing. Those little kids, it's just amazing how they can handle themselves and carry their thing of milk on the tray and not spill it, and then they have the self-serve thing kind of in the middle, and so they just did a great job. It's a beautiful kitchen. That was really fun to do, and then that same day I did second chance breakfast at the high school. That was a blast. Mr. Visner or Mr. Christ, I believe, does it too sometimes. They go room to room with the second chance cart, and so it was just fun.
Second chance breakfast is crucial. I know so many students that don't eat breakfast.
Yep.
And then whenever, sometimes we don't have second chance lunch, so, and then their parents are going the announcements, we're like, there's no second chance announcements. You can just hear the disappointment in
Yeah.
the classroom, so I always love second chance breakfast.
Yeah. I was amazed at the number of kids that did it. Yeah, it was really super fun.
It's like assortment of like packaged foods. They get a little varied from day to day. They'll have usually like maybe like a cereal bar, juices, like a muffin,
Cheese sticks.
cheese sticks.
Mhm.
Yeah, it really does vary. It's kind of like a surprise each day. Why some kids like it so much.
Yeah, so that was great. And then I did attend the college and career fair last Thursday night. It was the same night as conferences. And I hope that I hope word gets out because it was really awesome. They had several different companies there, like Carl Sanderson was there, and Mr. McClellan from our school was there, and banks were there, and medical professionals. I mean, insurance, yeah, it was just a great opportunity for both the careers trade and the college kid stuff, and it was, I picked up a bunch of brochures.
Colleges were there.
I don't really know.
I was there. I should know.
I
Was it
kind of,
like tech schools, or
Tech,
was it
yep.
4
Tech
years?
schools.
Were any 4 years there at all?
I
I don't think any 4 years.
remember.
I feel like it was the trades.
Trade, it was mainly trades that showed up, but they were invited. I don't know, was Normandale there though?
I
I-
was there for 45 minutes and I don't know.
I think Normandale was maybe there.
So if they were there, they didn't make their presence known.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, I think.
He's not looking for calls.
Yeah, I think, I was busy talking and laughing for like 45 minutes, enjoying the staff that I saw that was there.
It was a good event though, so I hope it gets legs and moves forward, because I know, I believe
really cool to
other
hear.
schools, Shakopee probably does, they have college and career fair. Pardon?
We don't call it that, but we do like a big career expo.
Yeah. Mhm. Concerts were great, it was really fun seeing our school board there, rep there.
Like the Floodville Pops concert coming up, it is gonna be like so good this year. You should definitely go. We're gonna have a live band again this year.
Good. So, yeah, we'll want to make sure that the board gets an opportunity to get tickets for the pop concert. And with